Breaking news! Yes, my friends. Today's updates are shocking. I confess to you that I am already looking forward to Sunday's game. If you believe that we will beat the Steelers, hit that like button hard. But only do this if you are a true Ravens fan. If possible, write something like this: the Ravens will make it to the Super Bowl. Yesterday we talked about Patrick Queen, and boy, let's turn that page. He is now an advertiser, and we need to win this game. Now for another thing. The Baltimore Ravens find themselves in the middle of a busy week, full of updates that fans will not want to miss. Starting with a blast from the past, Earl Thomas, a former Raven best known for his time with the Seattle Seahawks, made headlines during an interview on Justina Anderson's new podcast. Thomas boldly stated that he was better than Hall of Famers Ed Reed and Troy Polamalu, stating that he deserved to be a first-ballot Hall of Famer. He did admit, however, that punching a teammate during practice wasn't his finest moment. While there's no denying Thomas's talent during his playing days, the statement has sparked heated debate among fans and analysts alike, given Reed's legendary status as a Raven and one of the greatest safeties of all time. Moving on to current news, Kyle Hamilton is making progress in his recovery from an ankle injury suffered during the Ravens game against the Bengals. Reports indicate that Hamilton returned to practice this week in a limited capacity, a promising sign for the Ravens' secondary heading into a critical matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Jeff Zrebiec noted that Hamilton looked good on the field, showing mobility and readiness. The Ravens have prioritized recovery for the past few seasons, and their cautious approach means Hamilton will only play if he's truly ready. Fans are hopeful that his return can bolster a defense that has struggled with consistency. On a less positive note, Arthur Maulet, another secondary player known for his blitzing skills, was seen in a walking boot at practice. Reports suggest teammates were consoling him, indicating a potentially serious injury. While details are still emerging, it appears the Ravens may be without Maulet for a while, putting pressure on other players like Trayvon Mullen and Brandon Stevens to step up. The Ravens have options to adjust their secondary, but Maulet's absence could test the team's depth as they prepare for the Steelers' offensive threats, including George Pickens and their run-heavy schemes. Fans have also been engaging in off-season hypotheticals on social media, with questions like, if you were the Ravens GM, what's your first move? Some responses were bold, including trading key players like Marcus Williams, reworking contracts to create cap space, and even drafting offensive and defensive linemen. While purely speculative, it reflects the intense passion and scrutiny Ravens fans have for their team, especially during a season where expectations are sky high. The Ravens' defense has been under the microscope this season. Despite moments of brilliance, the unit has struggled with communication and missed assignments, leading to costly explosive plays. Kyle Hamilton has been a bright spot, consistently showing great instincts, especially on blitzes from the slot. However, fans are clamoring for more turnovers and impactful plays to complement an offense led by Lamar Jackson, who is having an MVP-caliber season. The defense doesn't need to dominate entirely. It simply needs to capitalize on opportunities like catching interceptions and finishing sacks to give the team an edge in close games. As for the offense, it continues to be a dynamic and unpredictable force, with multiple players capable of stepping up each week. Tylan Wallace's recent performance showcases the depth and versatility of this group. The Ravens' ability to adapt and utilize their weapons effectively will be critical as they face one of the league's top defenses in Pittsburgh. With an exciting matchup against the Steelers looming, all eyes are on the Ravens to see how they respond to their challenges. Can Kyle Hamilton make a game-changing return? How will the secondary adjust to Maulet's potential absence? Will the defense tighten up and start forcing turnovers, or will it continue to rely on the offense to win in shootouts? These questions will define the Ravens' season moving forward. Now it's your turn, Ravens fans. What do you think about Earl Thomas's comments? Can Kyle Hamilton's return be the spark the defense needs? And what would your first move be as Ravens GM in the offseason? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's keep the conversation going. Go Ravens! The Baltimore Ravens and Pittsburgh Steelers rivalry isn't just a matchup. It's a spectacle, a battle that defines the AFC North. But lately, Ravens fans have been left with a bitter taste, as Pittsburgh has dominated this historic series, winning 7 of the last 8 meetings since 2020. Last season stung particularly hard, with two identical 17-10 losses, each leaving Ravens faithful wondering what could have been. The Week 18 loss in Baltimore had a caveat. The Ravens had already secured the AFC's top seed and rested their starters. But Week 5 in Pittsburgh? That was the one that slipped through their fingers. Baltimore built an early 10-0 lead, only to watch it crumble under the weight of self-inflicted mistakes. Turnovers, missed opportunities, and poor execution made that defeat especially painful.
Now, the Ravens head back to Acrisure Stadium for the first time since that gut-wrenching loss, and offensive coordinator Todd Monken is determined to right the ship. Monken, who joined Baltimore last season, didn't mince words when reflecting on what these games mean, not just to fans but to the players. When it comes to divisional rivalries, sometimes they're one-sided, Monken shared during Thursday's media availability. It's a rivalry to you, but you've been beaten down so much that the other team doesn't see it that way. That's not as much fun. But if it means winning the division, winning a championship, bragging rights, it means something. For Monken, this isn't just about turning the page. It's about redemption. I hope it means something to our players. It's about trying to win the division, the first step to getting into the tournament and chasing a world championship. And we owe them one. Last year on the road, we didn't play our best. We gave it away. Monken's frustration with last year's performance was palpable, and it's hard to argue. In that pivotal Week 5 clash, Baltimore's offense squandered chances that could have sealed the game. A turnover on downs just before halftime, a red zone interception by Lamar Jackson following a muffed punt recovery, and other costly errors were a recipe for disaster. But this season, the story feels different. Monken's offense has found its rhythm. The Ravens lead the NFL in total offense, rushing, and scoring, while ranking third in passing. Lamar Jackson is playing some of the sharpest football of his career, and the addition of Derrick Henry has added a new dimension to Baltimore's attack. This isn't just a high-powered offense. It's one that thrives on balance and efficiency. Sunday brings a familiar battle, one steeped in history and intensity. The Pittsburgh Steelers defense has long been a thorn in the Ravens' side, particularly in these heated rivalry games. Pittsburgh's front seven is as fierce as ever, anchored by T.J. Watt, whose relentless pressure and game-changing plays consistently disrupt even the best offenses. This year, the challenge remains just as daunting, but there's a twist. The Ravens' offense isn't just motivated, it's fueled by frustration and a desire for redemption. Offensive coordinator Todd Monken made it clear, Baltimore has no room for error against a team like Pittsburgh. You can't make those mistakes against a team like the Steelers. They'll make you pay every time, Monken said. But we're better now. We're more disciplined, more explosive. It's about going out there and showing it. Last season's disappointing losses, especially the Week 5 game in Pittsburgh, still linger in the minds of Ravens players and fans. A 10-0 lead evaporated due to turnovers and miscues, leaving Baltimore on the wrong side of a 17-10 score. This time, the Ravens have an opportunity to rewrite the narrative. Monken's offense has undergone a transformation, finding its stride with Lamar Jackson at the helm and Derrick Henry bringing an added punch to the ground game. The Ravens lead the league in key offensive metrics, showcasing a balance that few teams can match. Yet, the Steelers thrive in chaos. Their defense thrives on creating turnovers, and they're known for stepping up when the lights are brightest. The Ravens understand what's at stake, not just the rivalry, but critical divisional positioning and momentum in a season where the team is chasing something much bigger. Now it's your turn, Ravens flock. How do you see this game playing out? Can Baltimore overcome its recent struggles against Pittsburgh and deliver a defining victory? Let us know in the comments. Your passion fuels this team, and your voice matters.